guys, how's everyone doing today? So, for today's video, I'm just going to be doing my everyday, like picking my kids up makeup, but for the winter time. Because I know it's not winter yet, technically, but it's fall, and around here it's been pretty cold, especially in the morning. And in the fall and winter time, my face gets very, very dry. So, I try to switch up my foundations and my primers if I use them, and which I don't really use primers in the wintertime. I really don't care for them. I use a lot of lotion, that's all. So for me, for the wintertime, I use a lot of stick foundations and concealers. That's really about it when it comes to actual like face, like complexion products. I mean, I use a tiny bit of bronzer, not too much, because in the wintertime we're also much lighter than we are in the summer that, you know, we really don't need it. Now, I know my eyebrows are already done for the video. That's because I was trying out this Maybelline Tattoo Studio. I went to give it another shot before I got rid of it, and I went to see how long they would last also. So I washed my face, and then I put these on last night, and they're still there after, I guess I did them at about 9 o'clock, and it's about noon now. So they've been on for quite a while, and they actually don't look too bad. So, my face is a little shiny. That's because I have a lot of lotions on. I've been putting a lot of lotions on. So, for my face makeup, for just an everyday look, I use a little bit of concealer on my eyes and underneath my eyes. And basically, like, the T-zone of my face. But I'm going to actually use a little bit different of a product today. I'm going to be using the Luscious Angel Eyes Eyeshadow Primer Base. And this actually doubles as a concealer. I don't know if a lot of people know that. I got it from BoxyCharm a few months ago. Maybe 2 months ago. So I just put this on over top of just my lotion. You know, I know, like I said, it says eye primer, but it really does work as concealer. And it actually doesn't crease underneath the eyes because it's meant for the eyelid and to keep the eyelid from creasing. So it works, you know, really good for underneath your eyes. I just use my regular brush. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. This is what I use for eyelid primer, and like if I had to get into a tight space for concealer. And then I'll just blend that out with whatever, like I use my Real Techniques Beauty Blender, well, Real Techniques complexion sponge. And because this eyelid primer has such a white or yellow tone base to it, I really don't need to put foundation around this. It will just blend into my skin. Sorry, to make sure I wasn't wiping my eyebrow off. I don't know if my camera looks fuzzy or wait. There we go. Now I'm in focus, right? I hope the whole video wasn't like out of focus. And as you can see, for an eyelid primer, like you wouldn't think it would do all this for concealer, but it does. Alright, so now that I put on the Luscious Angel Eyes eyelid primer as a concealer, I'm going to just set that with powder. I'm just going to use my loose powder. It's Rimmel London Perfect Match loose setting powder. Well, this is loose face powder, same thing. And I'm just going to use my damp sponge again, which is actually close to dry. But I'm just going to tap that around and pat it in. Don't want to use a whole lot But I just want to make sure that it's set really good. I don't want it to move since that's the only coverage I have. Sorry, there's a bus going by. Just to make sure it's all blended, I'm going to go across it with my brush. Alright, and that's really all due to my face for actual complexion on a regular day when it's colder out. Because I'm too dry to really do a lot of powders. Now, if I do want to warm it up, I'll just use my butter bronzer, my Physician Formula butter bronzer, and I'll use a big fluffy brush and kind of just stamp it over just to warm up a little bit. It just adds a little bit. It's not like it adds like a crazy amount. I'm not doing like a whole contour. It will do my nose a little bit. And any products I use after this will all be like, well, even this one. This isn't like a totally matte bronzer. It does have just a little bit of luminosity to it. And then the blushes I use in the wintertime also have luminosity, which I do in the summertime sometimes, but I feel like in the summer, you know, I tend to get greasier, so I will use more matte products. But come wintertime, I'll use all luminous products. And this is my regular blush here that I use. It's the Leche and Gold Rose Gold Blush, which has the luminosity to it. And I tend to use more pinky shade products in the wintertime as opposed to peachy in the summer. So that's what it looks like just so. I'm sure I've showed you 100 times over. I use it all the time. I actually got it from Ipsy. It's the only product I think I ever really loved from Ipsy. Alright, and that's pretty much all I'll do for facial powders. I'm going to set this real quick, and I'll use my highlighter after. For highlighter, I prefer to have like a wet looking highlighter. Let that dry. Alright, for my eyes, I know this is kind of like getting old for everybody, but I'm just going to use this little Jaclyn Hill. I was going to use the big one because that's my favorite palette, really. But I just don't want to go like crazy with eyeshadow tonight. And every time I get in that palette, I have the cranberries and all that, and automatically I'm like, alright, I'm going to use this one, then I'm going to use this one, I'm going to use this one, and it winds up being a huge extravagant look, and I get dirty looks from the moms at the school. So I'm just not going to go too crazy. And I'm just going to use this since it's to me, this is a basic palette. Like, these are my basic colors. So that's why I'm using it. I'm going to start with the yellow like I always do. Tiny bit. Alright, now I'm going to move on to a different brush. I'm going to go into Agent on just a little domed brush. And just put that directly into the crease. I'll reinforce the yellow if I have to. the yellow. Bring it up above and blend the other color. Alright. Now I'm going to take a smaller fluffy brush, but it's very tiny. Like this is literally smaller than my fingertip. And I'm going to dip into the color Smooth. You know what? I'm going to dip into the color Prowl over here. I really haven't used that much. I'm just going to put that right into my crease, right into my outer V of my eye. This is more of an everyday, kinda, you know, a little bit glam, but not really glam, just like going about my day, but making sure that, you know, it looks good at the same time. Look. It's one of them days, guys, one of them days. Alright, so, I mean, that's basically to the extent of what I'll do for deepening, and like, I'll touch this up here and fix it when I'm done. Normally I would use tape, I just really didn't feel like it today. Do you ever have one of them days where you're just like not really creative and you don't really want to do too much and you're just like, you know, whatever when it comes to makeup? I get them very rarely, but today is one of them days. I'm just bringing the dark brown color I just used down on my lower lash line real quick. I'm just bringing on the outer portion of my lower lash line. Just to bring it down a little bit. Tell you what, there's a lot of pigmentation in this color. Like they're all highly pigmented, but this one is like boom in your face, dark brown. I'm going to go into the brush I just used, the little tiny fluffy one. Because I'm not trying to be like exact and like neat with this really. Because this is my, you know, quick makeup basically. I'm going to go into the yellow access in the palette. And I'm just going to blend this down here. So you can see that's basically what I'll do. And then I'll use a flat shader brush. I'm not really... No, I'm not going to use concealer. I'm just going to go into Guilt Trip in this palette and pack it on the lid. This color is like so opaque that you can just, you know, put it over and you don't need any concealer. Alright, so that's covered there. Alright, so that's basically the end of my eyes there. I'm just going to throw in some eyeliner, mascara, and then I'll come back and do a highlight for you, and my inner corner highlight. Alright guys, I'm back now. So now you can see, I just threw in some brown eyeliner. It's a very dark brown eyeliner. I use my Soap and Glory mascara and the IT Cosmetics Superhero mascara after that. For my inner corner, I'm just going to stick to the same palette. I'm going to use this little white shade over here in the corner on a small brush. Right here. I'm just going to put that right in my inner corner. So bright. It's my favorite inner corner highlight. When I really want a bright inner corner highlight, this is the palette to go to. Like this is my absolute favorite for that. Sometimes it's a little too intense for the brow bone, but I'll use it anyway. I don't care. I really like the color. I like the iridescence to it. Just gotta be very careful. Don't want to do it where you need it. If I was really going all out and like I was going somewhere tonight or something, I would use gold for my inner corner and my brow arch highlight. But I'm not. I'm picking up my kids like any other day. I just want to do like a little bit more with my eyes, but then keep the rest of my face pretty simple. So there's that. I think I'm going to have to blend a little bit more on that side, but it's not that big of a deal. It'll only take a second. Right here. There we go. I'm going to use the Golden Flower Crown from Wet n Wild, one of the ones from the giveaway. These Wet n Wild highlighters are crazy, all of them. I don't hear so many people ranting and raving about them, but they're amazing. Like, they're not, this one's a little dark, like a little golder toned, but I mean, it's not too dark for me, but it's close to being too dark for me. But I don't hear a lot of people talking about these. That was my point. And I mean, look at the highlight. And it's a crazy highlight. It has that wet look that I like. It has, like, it pulls the whole look together. You can see it. It's not too bad, but I don't know. It's just my favorite. And for lips, like, so I'm not doing anything like crazy bold. I can really do any color for my lips. And I don't want to do anything too crazy. I think I'm just going to stick to a nude. I really didn't want to. I prefer, like, if I'm doing this kind of eye to where it's not too extravagant, I would normally do a brighter color. But I really can't go to my kids' school with bright color. So I'm going to be using the Ofra liquid lipstick in the shade Verona, which is still darker. It's not like a, you know, bland nude. And then I'm going to take my Color Icon, Wet n Wild Color Icon Gemini, which I'm a Gemini, lip topper. And this is basically like a champagne-y with gold reflex. I'll swatch on my hand real quick. I use this a lot. It's one of my favorite toppers. It's right here. I mean, it's very, very, very reflective. But I just put it in the center right here. It just gives the look just a little bit something more. Makeup wipes near me. So I'm going to set my face. I'm going to use the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Yeah, and that's my completed look. This is my wanting to do something with myself, but not feeling like doing too much kind of look. So it's kind of like a no face makeup kind of look. I have very limited face makeup. But I'll give you a close-up so you can see the eyeshadow. And it's not too bad. Like I said, this is like an everyday thing for me. If I don't use the big Jaclyn Hill palette, you know, I'll use the Alamar palette or the little Jaclyn Hill. But I think what I'm going to do for my next video is I'm going to give you guys kind of like I'm going to show you what I have for makeup basically, like when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. And I do have quite a few. And maybe you guys can help me pick out, you know, a palette to use for a look, or maybe things like that. And I'm not definite on it, but I'm going to, you know, kind of clean up my mess and show you. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.